At the moment, there are, of course, other ways to make your money work harder for you. Some savers are offering their cash directly to borrowers on the internet for a higher interest rate. Now, you do have to note it is riskier and you're relying on those borrowers to pay back the money that you've loaned to them. But savers have already loaned out £1.25 billion in this way. Simon Gompertz has more.
Meet Jamie, who needed cash to do up his home, and Lynn, a saver who had money to spare. They're pioneers who could be helping to spark a revolution in lending. Lynn was fed up that her savings didn't seem to flourish in banks or pensions, so she started lending direct to borrowers to get a better return using a specialist website. And the return is higher than typical rates from a bank. For the latest £5,000 she's lent out, she's earning interest of 7.4% before tax.
Necessity is the mother of invention. I mean, and this is it. It's a new asset class. It's not a share. It's not a bank account. I'm not sure what it is. It's like the eBay of money, really.
Lynn's been using the biggest website, Zopa, which spreads her money between hundreds of borrowers. That's because some borrowers could fail, and unlike banks, these sites have no protection from the UK's Financial Services Compensation Scheme, which protects customers' deposits.
There is a risk. There's no guarantee from the government or a bank that Lynn will get her money back or her interest. And yet the idea does seem to be catching on because of the returns on offer.
Well, first of all, there was the tiles. They were about half the price of what they should have been for natural slate.
Money from savers like Lynn has been channelled to Jamie, a chef who's installed a new kitchen in his house and borrowed much of what he needed via the website. He says he's a bargain hunter, and he proved it by borrowing £4,500 at 8.4%, which was 5% less than his bank quoted.
I thought it was brilliant, the fact that, there's not some fat cat taking all the profits. It's, some guy who's just invested maybe 50 quid, 100 quid, who's getting a little return and doing something good for someone else. So it's just a brilliant concept, really.
Well, I'm saving up to retire to Devon or Cornwall.
Lynn is hoping that the interest will help pay for her to retire to the West Country. Much of the lending is across generations, from older people looking for a decent income to younger borrowers setting up in life. With £250 million lent already, peer-to-peer lenders, as they're called, are threatening to take a sizable share of traditional banking business. Simon Gompertz, BBC News.
Well, David was watching that report from Simon. What do you make of lenders like that, these peer-to-peer lenders?
They've been around for a few years, actually. Zopa's by far the best known of them. There are a number of others, such as RateSetter, and there are even some where you lend to companies instead. You can get pretty good rates from them. Typically, if you lend, say, I don't know, £5,000 or something, it'll be split up into about 50 to 100 different borrowers. So there is the risk of default, but just by virtue of having that many borrowers, with only a little slice going to each one, it does lessen the risk.
Okay, some slightly more...